Alright guys, welcome to part 4 of our Muslim World unit. Today we're going to be talking about a new group in power known as the Seljuk Turks. Okay, now the Turks they are a interesting group, but anyway. Um, so we talked about several caliphates. We have the rightly guided caliphs, which were the leaders of Islam right after, um, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Right after right after the Abbasid Caliphate. Okay, and the Muslim world is not as big as it used to be. The Fatima rose up and took over North Africa. The Umayyad Caliphate ran to Spain and took it over, and so it was lost to the Abbasids, while the Abbasids remained in control of Arabia and the surrounding area. Okay, so now we have a new group of power known as the Seljuk Turks. All right, they rise as the Abbasids begin to lose control. Um, they had already lost Spain, they lost Morocco, they lost Tunisia to the Fatima, and now in 868 they're losing control of Egypt. Um, and so by 945, the Persians, which is where the Turks are from, conquer Baghdad and end the power of the Caliph. So no longer is the Caliph going to be this is a political power. It's still the religious leader of Islam, the Caliph, but now Persian rulers control the political power of the world, or the Islamic world. Okay, and they don't speak Arab. These people speak a language called Farsi. All right, and the modern day example of this would be, um, what's the example? So the Iranians. Okay, so like I said, the Caliph will still be an Arabic and a religious leader, but now the control belongs with the Persian power. All right, so the Seljuks were nomadic horsemen. They herded sheep, camel, caravans, and they were known for being great military warriors. The Abbasids brought Turkish children to train as soldiers. The Abbasids called them Mamelukes, and they would convert to Islam and migrate into the Abbasid Empire. Well, by 1055, they captured Baghdad from the Persians, and in 1071, they crushed the Byzantines at the Battle of Manzikert. And within 10 years, the Seljuks take over Anatolia and expand their empire, shrinking the Byzantine Empire even smaller than what it used to be. Alright, so the Seljuks are going to gain support of Persians through favorable treatment, and they choose Isfahan as the capital. Nizam al-Mulk is going to be the vizier, and the Turks use the Persians to educate themselves because they were illiterate. So the rulers take the name of the Shah, which a Shah means king in Persian. Okay, and a vizier is like a prime minister. Okay, during this time, the Seljuks focus on the Persian language, but they do speak Arabic, but it's only because of the importance of it has with the Quran. The most famous sultan or king, Malik Shah, and one of the things he did is that he focused on building their culture, art, learning, religion, and he built several mosques during this time. One of them is called the Masjid-i Jame, which is this thing right here. It's beautiful. Look at the frescoes on the building. It's gorgeous. So, and this is the extent of the Seljuk Empire by 1092. It's huge. But the Seljuk begin to decline at the start of the Crusades. Well, in 1092, Malik Shah, the great Seljuk king, is dead. He dies unexpectedly, and the empire disintegrates into other kingdoms. All right. And so there's multiple kingdoms of the Seljuk Turks. And so in 1095, Pope Urban II launches the First Crusade. The goal of the First Crusade is to kick the Turks out of Anatolia and reclaim Jerusalem. And we'll talk more about the Crusades when we actually get to our medieval Europe unit. But in 1099, the Christians captured Jerusalem. They massacred Jews and Muslims and established a kingdom there. One of the kingdoms that broke apart was established by a man by the name of Saladin. Now, Saladin establishes a strong Seljuk kingdom to confront the Christians, and in 1187 he retakes Jerusalem for the Muslims. If you look up here, this is Saladin from the movie Kingdom of Heaven. Richard the Lionheart, or Richard the First, King of England, who went and fought in the Crusades, ends up signing a truce, saying, "We will leave, but you have to open Jerusalem to Muslims." Okay? And there are several other crusades after are issued to regain the city, but all of them are easily defeated. And the Crusades is really a failure. And then finally, the Seljuk kingdoms were conquered by an even more powerful force to the east, known as the Mongols. They began consolidating their power and they moved west. A man by the name of Hulagu actually leads Mongolians to the gates of Baghdad and burns the caliph's palace, which is, you remember, the caliph, but right now is now just a religious leader. He is not um, um, a political leader. Okay. And so, although the Abbasids still rule the caliph, um, and one of the things that's interesting about the Mongols is that they had a belief that they themselves could not inflict blood and punishment on the caliphate, on religious leaders, because they would be considered like dead. So what they do is they have their horses trample the leaders of the caliph to death. And then here's an image of them taking Baghdad with the high walls. And the campaigns of the Mongols in Asia against the Byzantines and the Turks makes them the largest land empire in history. But one of the problems the Mongols will have, and we'll talk more about them, is that they have very little knowledge of administration, and their empire crumbles into pieces after like maybe 100 years. It doesn't even like, or I think it's shorter than that. But the collapse of the Mongols will lead to the rise of the Ottoman Turks. All right, that's the end of our Muslim world lecture unit. I hope you enjoyed it. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. And I look forward to talking to you some more in the future.